What's up, YouTube? This is my second video, slowly getting the hang of this. If you remember last time, I had an assignment for my English 102 class over hands-on research. And what I had to do is go out and interview two people and sort of tie in a topic of folklore and language. And so for this assignment, it's another folklore and language, and we had to do archival research. So we had to go back in time. Our time period was before 1949, and just find something that we liked and we wanted to research. Well, I'm from a rural Appalachia area, and so I was interested in just the canning during the Great Depression and how that sort of affected the way they canned and things like that. So I put up 3 research questions that I wanted to know, and what was the process that these people took to can during the Great Depression. What were the foods that they canned? Because really, during the Great Depression, there wasn't many options. I mean, you can go down to a supermarket and say, okay, I want this, I want this. You were given a couple options, and then you had to deal with it. And so with those, you had to really preserve those foods. And so the last question is, was there any devices or things like that that people used? And so I started searching online. I used Google Scholar and started looking. I just used keywords like canning, Appalachia, just things like that. And I wasn't getting much. I had a couple things. I had recipes from that time and things like that. But I wasn't really finding what I wanted. And so I went onto a UTK archival source, and I started coming up with some more things. One of the things was a company, a canning company, and it was a picture of their building, and it just had a little bit of background on it, which I thought was really cool. There's the picture. And another one was from the U.S. Agriculture, and they put out like their own canning process and what they thought canning should be, and like the safeties and tips that should be taken on this canning process. And so a couple of things I found for the process, it was pretty delicate. Like, you didn't mess with that process. The one thing that had to be done at the beginning was everything had to be sterilized, and that was done through boiling it. And then later on, you could sort of tweak it a little bit, but other than that, it was very defined. The foods, it was mostly non-sweet foods, because sweet foods would not preserve as long. So like potatoes, turnips, things like that, that didn't have much acidity and weren't very just sweet. And then the devices, I didn't find really many devices. There was a couple things that I found, but it didn't really make an impact. One was tongs, just obviously getting the can out of the boiling pot. And then one was a pot that they used that helped keep pressure, because one of the things during the process, it had to have a lot of pressure. And so it had to be airtight. And so one of the devices was just a can that really kept everything airtight. Alright, well, that's sort of just a background of my paper and what I did. So thank you for watching.